The Texas Panhandle sprawled beneath the vast sky, a land of harsh beauty and unforgiving winds. It was in this desolate stretch of earth that my family, the Martins, clung to the remnants of a life shattered by tragedy. I, Angela, the middle daughter, bore witness to the twisted fragments of our existence, a narrative woven with pain and stained with tears. Our farmhouse, once a haven, had become a haunted structure, haunted not by ghosts of the past, but by the shadows of our own making. My parents, Sarah and John, had started with dreams as expansive as the horizon, but life had a way of reshaping dreams into nightmares. John, once a proud patriarch, crumbled under the weight of unmet expectations. The soil of our land seemed to absorb his vitality, leaving him a mere specter of the man he once was. Sarah, my mother, sought refuge in the faded photographs that adorned the walls, frozen moments of joy before the storms rolled in. Her laughter had become a distant memory, replaced by a melancholy that clung to her like a second skin. My older brother Daniel harbored resentment in the creases of his brow, a rebellion against a destiny he had not chosen. And Emily, my younger sister, clung to innocence with desperate fingers, constructing a world of make-believe to escape the harsh reality outside our door. It was on one sweltering day, with the sun casting long shadows across the barren landscape, that a stranger arrived. His name was Elijah, a wanderer with eyes that hinted at the weight of stories untold. He appeared at our doorstep, a solitary figure against the backdrop of an endless horizon, seeking refuge from the merciless Texas sun. Sarah, though worn thin by the trials of our fractured life, extended a hesitant welcome. Elijah, with a quiet demeanor and a presence that seemed to carry the whispers of forgotten winds, stepped into our lives. His hands, weathered by the passage of time, bore a promise of restoration, and his gaze held a mysterious comfort that transcended the confines of our broken reality. Elijah, it seemed, possessed an uncanny ability to perceive the fractures within our family. With a patient hand, he repaired the decaying fences that symbolized the barriers between us. He fixed the leaky roof that had allowed the storms of our past to seep into the present. In those quiet moments, as he worked tirelessly beneath the unforgiving sun, I saw a glimmer of hope reflected in his eyes, a hope that had long eluded us. As the days unfolded, Elijah became an unexpected presence, filling the voids left by our own inadequacies. He shared tales of distant places, painting vivid landscapes with words that transported us beyond the confines of our troubled lives. Daniel, his hardened exterior slowly softening, found a confidant in Elijah, a mentor of sorts who understood the tumult within his restless soul. Emily, captivated by Elijah's tales, began to see the world through a different lens. Her imaginary friends took a back seat to the real-life stories that Elijah spun like a master storyteller. Sarah, too, emerged from the cocoon of sorrow that had enveloped her, her eyes regaining a glimmer of life that had long been extinguished. In those moments, as Elijah's laughter echoed through our once silent home, it felt as though a spring breeze had swept through the desolate landscape, bringing with it the promise of renewal. For the first time in years, the farmhouse echoed with the warmth of shared stories and shared meals. But the winds of change are fickle, and as Elijah had mended the visible fractures, an invisible storm brewed on the horizon. One evening, as the Texas sky blazed with the colors of sunset, Elijah gathered us on the porch. His gaze held a weight that transcended the confines of our family, and the air seemed charged with an unspoken truth. He spoke of his own journey, the roads he had traveled, and the people he had encountered. Elijah's words carried a bittersweet melody, a song of transient connections and fleeting moments. In those moments, I sensed a subtle shift, a realization that Elijah was not here to stay. The void he had filled in our lives was destined to open once more. As he announced his departure, a heavy silence settled over our porch. The wind, once a companion to Elijah's stories, whispered through the cracks of our fractured existence. Sarah's eyes welled with tears, and Daniel's gaze hardened once again, a shield against the pain of yet another departure. Emily clung to Elijah's hand, as if trying to anchor him to the reality we had woven together. I, too, felt a twinge of sorrow, a realization that the respite Elijah had brought was as transient as the winds that swept across the Texas plains. His departure, though inevitable, left behind a void that seemed larger than the one he had filled. The repairs he had made to our home now stood as monuments to a brief interlude of solace. In the days that followed, the farmhouse seemed to echo with the hollow sounds of our fractured existence. The repaired fences leaned slightly, as if bearing the weight of an unresolved tension. The leaky roof, though temporarily sealed, threatened to crumble under the weight of unspoken words and unhealed wounds. As we navigated the aftershocks of Elijah's departure, I couldn't shake the bitter truth that lingered in the air. His presence had been a temporary reprieve, a punctuation mark in the ongoing saga of our twisted family. The winds of change had carried him away, leaving us to confront the reality that awaited beyond the shelter of his stories. Yet, in the midst of the bitterness, there was an unexpected sweetness. Elijah had not come to fix us. He had come to remind us that within the brokenness, there existed a capacity for renewal. The repairs he made, though not permanent, served as reminders that we were capable of stitching together the tattered fabric of our lives. In the weeks that followed, as the Texas wind whispered through the open windows, we faced the challenges with a newfound resilience. Elijah's tales lingered in the air, a source of inspiration that carried us through the storms that threatened to unravel us once more. The Texas Panhandle, with its vast landscapes and unforgiving winds, became a witness to our family's ongoing narrative. The bitterness of Elijah's departure mingled with the sweetness of the lessons he left behind, creating a complex tapestry that told the story of a twisted, broken family finding strength within the echoes of their own resilience.